If you want to know which infantry heroes are the best one in open field PvP, this video will be perfect for you because we're gonna rate every single infantry hero which are in the game until season of Strife 6, right? So yeah, basically we're gonna go from the basic heroes to the newest hero, which is Kuma and Lake 1, and we're gonna rate them one by one, right? Of course, in open field PvP, the most important, in my opinion, for infantry heroes is the tankiness, which they are buying for ranged heroes to deal damage, right? So we are not going to rate them who is dealing the highest damage, but most important aspect for infantry heroes are who will survive the longest, right? And which heroes I believe are better in terms of surviving the long-term fights and in general the targets, which sometimes in fights it happens to be 50, 20, 30 targets in for a one a march, right? So yeah, that's how we're going to that's the criteria of the tier list. And let's start with the D tier, right? We have S, A, B, C, and D, and for every hero I will try to explain why I believe they are there, right? So in D tier, in my opinion, the first hero which should be going there is Nika, right? Nika is one of the first heroes which in Call of Dragons we have from the gold keys, and unfortunately in terms of survivability and in terms of tankiness, Nika lacks a lot of defensive stats, right? And the reason is really simple. Nika is more of a damage dealer infantry hero with the high march speed rather than high defensive stat infantry hero, right? But yeah, it's pretty obvious that even cavalry heroes, I believe, are using more Nikas than in general infantry heroes, right? Of course, in some occasions you will have the Nika usage if you have low stamina on your main and most important infantry marches, but I believe Nika should be here, right? If we are having criteria of defensiveness and tankiness, Nika is none of them, right? Nika needs like rage accumulation to deal damage by the skill, which he has pretty high, march speed, and generally more offensive stats rather than defensive stats, right? So yeah, basically I believe Nika will be the lonely hero in our D tier, and we are going to be moving forward with the C tier, right? In C tier we have one choice which I believe should be there, and that one choice is Madeline, right? Madeline is not an infantry hero anymore. Madeline is overall hero, but in terms of tankiness, I believe Madeline is still lacking because we already have a good blueprint. What should be a good tank looking like if we are checking other heroes in the game, such as Goresh Kogul, Lake One, Kuma, and even some other ones, right? Madeline is a more tanky than Nika, but not as tanky as some other ones, which we are going to rate even higher, right? So what does Madeline do? Madeline has some shield. Madeline has some skill damage factor in the offensive skill. And yeah, more of a counter attack damage, but most tankiness which Madeline is getting is actually from the Legion capacity increase skill, which is basically means that when Madeline is in your hero pair, you're gonna have more troops than other players, right? If they are not using Madeline. That's what makes the Madeline hero pairs tanky, not the stats, not the HP bonuses, not the defensive stats, and so on, right? And plus, shield gameplay for the tankiness, I'm not really rating it. That's why I'm putting Madeline on a C tier. We're gonna have another hero in our C tier, and I believe Garwood after the update got even better than Madeline, right? Before I would say Madeline was better, but here Garwood, since the second skill is no longer the no longer garrison skill, and you are getting HP bonus for the Garwood, and also everybody understands how much healing is actually matters in open field PvP, and Garwood's rating went up, right? I'm even trying to understand if I will put Garwood on a B tier or C tier, right? So yeah, I strongly believe that Garwood is better than Madeline, Garwood is better than Nika, but yeah, for the other heroes, let's see at the end of the video what's gonna be our decision, right? So basically, you are not going to do a lot of damage with Garwood. You're gonna be tanky, you're gonna heal a lot, you're gonna have a lot of good defensive stats, HP and defense, which is the main stats for the infantry heroes. And yeah, I believe Garwood is way better than Nika and a little bit better than Madeline in terms of tankiness, right? Plus, of course, rating healing matters, and everybody knows how much I rate healing in Call of Dragons open field gameplay, right? So yeah, basically this will be the C tier, and we can easily move forward to the B tier, right? And the B tier is here, and on the B tier I'm gonna put Mogoro. Mogoro will be the B tier hero, not only because of the pure Mogoro, how good Mogoro is in terms of defensive abilities, but I generally have the like for my own opinion, I'm trying to understand if I'm putting Mogoro as a B tier or the Garwood is the B tier. Maybe this will be more appropriate one. I rate healing a lot in this game. Mogoro is more of an offensive hero, offensive infantry hero, but Mogoro also has life drain, which is nice, right? Not life drain, like bruise, right? Bruise is a pretty nice skill to have on an infantry. But yeah, I believe this can be interchanged because it's really close, right? But yeah, whoever will go for Mogoro as a B or Garwood as a B, you guys will be correct in my opinion, in my view, right? So yeah, Mogoro is a B tier, and Danfel is another B tier, which is better than Mogoro and which is better than Garwood. The simple one skill, which is increasing ranged attack defense reduction for not only Danfel but for nearby infantry heroes. That one skill is better than Mogoro and is better than Garwood and is better than Madeline, right? This is how much tanky Danfel can make, not only himself, but all the other infantry heroes. And we know that infantry heroes like to go with a couple of marches together, so that skill will be utilized really well whenever we are speaking about the mass infantry pushes, right? And yeah, infantry have been one of the most popular in troop type in the game in this last current season and last season basically, and it's not a surprise that the Danfel, which is tanky himself, makes others tanky also. Of course, if you are rating tankiness in open field gameplay for infantry, you are going to like Danfel and Mogoro, because I believe Danfel and Mogoro is the hero pair which are played together, right? So yeah, I believe this B tier and C tier Garwood will be more priority for players, and we can easily go for A tier, right? And in A tier, finally, we have a season when we don't have Goresh and Skogul, the best infantry hero pair in the game, and it's pretty funny. Goresh and Skogul is G2 hero pairs, Danfel and Mogoro is G3, which means the Danfel and Mogoro is the new one, but yeah, Goresh and Skogul is the better one than Danfel, Mogoro, Garwood, Madeline, and Nika, right? This hero pair has everything, a lot of counter-attack damage, a lot of splash damage to enemies, a lot of defensive stats, shelters, HP bonuses, amazing artifact. Basically, these have been the best infantry hero pair for many KVKs for at least 2 seasons until right now, right? So if you are going to, like, whenever new players are asking me which infantry heroes we should actually focus, I always have this idea that like from the season of 2, you are already getting Goresh and Skogul, so making Goresh and Skogul your priority is the best thing which you actually can do for your infantry main account, right? Because in Call of Dragons you can use 5 marches together. You can easily go 5 marches infantry or different troop type depending on your choice. So basically, Goresh and Skogul will be the A tier, and well, not we don't need to introduce this hero pair, right? If they have been with us for a while, amazing for rally, amazing for open field, amazing for every single game mode which we have in Call of Dragons. So basically, all the infantry players should be focusing on Goresh and Skogul, right? That's my honest opinion regarding this hero pair. And finally, we are going to the S tier, which means the current best infantry hero pair in this game, and it's not a surprise, it's of course Kuma and Lake 1, right? Kuma and Lake 1 is basically a better version than Goresh and Skogul, but they have a different playstyle. For example, Kuma, which is more of an open field PvP infantry hero, instead of having a lot of defensive stats, Kuma has life drain, Kuma has healing, right? That's another indicator how much healing actually matters in Call of Dragons, and that's why I was thinking of putting Garwood even on a B tier rather than putting Garwood on a C tier, right? So, Kuma and Lake 1 currently for Season of Strife 6 the best infantry hero pair in terms of dealing damage, in terms of tankiness, in terms of rally priority. If you want to run rallies, you're gonna go Lake 1 as a primary and Kuma as secondary. If you want to use this hero pair for open field PvP, you're gonna go for Kuma as primary and Lake 1 as a secondary. Mostroke is amazing warped, which gives us a lot of HP bonuses, and we all know how much Call of Dragons likes to have HP bonuses, not only on archers, but basically on every single troop type in the game, right? So yeah, I think defeating Kuma and Lake 1's marches, if you are building them properly, is the hardest job for every ranged player, right? And as an archer main, I totally understand which infantry players are tankiest, because generally most of the time in PvP open field gameplays I fight against infantries, because that's how alliance wars are being won or lost, right? Whoever's alliance infantry players is lasting longer, they are winning, right? So yeah, so basically if you were just starting the game, let's conclude our tier list, right? If I was starting the game and I wanted to be infantry main in season 1, I would be investing my legendary tokens for awakening Garwood. In season 2, I would be investing my legendary tokens to make Goresh 5551 at least, and awaken Skogul. And in season 3, my main motivation would be to awaken Kuma and Lake 1, right? That would be the order which I would be looking at infantry heroes from this perspective, right? Before it was different, before it was Madeline and Goresh and Skogul, but I believe Garwood, Goresh and Skogul, and Lake 1 and Kuma would be the primary. And in the middle, if you will have enough legendary tokens, I would be going for Dunfell, right? Mogo, Madeline, and Nika, well, if you are having maxed out account, then why not? Of course, why not? But if your resources and your currencies are limited, then this is my advice for all the new players and for some players who are asking the questions regarding infantry heroes and infantry gameplay in general. In Call of Dragons, infantry gameplay is really, really impactful and really, really important for not only for winning and losing, they are also getting quite a good amount of merits from some updates. So yeah, nice. Finally, we have something better than Goresh and Skogul, but infantry is looking really scary because they already have two perfect hero pairs such as Goresh Skogul and Kuma in League 1, right? Of course, as always, I'm interested in your ideas and thoughts about the tier list. Share your ideas in your comment section, and as always, if you like the video, press like, subscribe, share. It always gives me more and more motivation to make more content for this game. I wish everybody amazing day, morning and night. We are going to see each other really, really soon. Bye bye and good luck.